Hello. Monday the 19th in the UK, Freedom Day, as we say. Let's discuss that a bit in a minute. But yeah, I thought I'd just do a quick update because I've had a very quiet week last week because I've been not dealing with, but enjoying lots of family time because my daughter flew back out to the USA yesterday. Which she was flying back out on her own, and with everything going on at the moment and everything, it's quite, a lot, for both of us to go through because you're trying to not buy into everything. But when you step out of your own little haven and go into those sort of environments, you get forced to confront what it's like in reality. So I'm going to share some of my experiences of that with you. But really, wanted to say just hello to everyone because I've had a lot of correspondence from a lot of people, and I've been feeling this up and down as well over the last week. Hi everyone that's joining me. Thank you so much for joining me. Weirdly, it wouldn't let me go live for about half an hour before. I don't know what was happening with that, but it's working now. I'm not seeing any chat yet again. So if anyone is able to put something in the chat, let's have a look. I don't know why it keeps doing this. It sort of doesn't let me see the chat. Now it's coming up. So yeah, hi Linda, hi Andrea, Susie, Cuba, Stephanie, all from Western Australia. Wow. What time is it in Australia? London, New York. So the chat's just come on. So thank goodness it's working. I'll keep my lovely sweaty glasses on because on my computer, the chat is absolutely tiny to the side, so I don't want to miss anything. So where should we begin? In the UK, supposedly, it's Freedom Day today. I think everyone who's watching this knows that freedom is an inside job. We don't need people to tell us when we can be free or not. However, what we've all experienced recently has shown us that actually sometimes there might be areas of our life that we've got far less control over than we want to. Or have we? Everyone's in a different situation with that. So my experience yesterday, I took my daughter to Heathrow Airport. She was flying out to London. And as a mum, I was quite nervous because she was flying on her own and there's a lot of extra checks and procedures and things in place at the moment, which makes it, really a little bit stressful if you allow the stress to get to it, which I must say I was a little bit. But when we arrive at Heathrow Airport, there's signs everywhere saying you must wear masks to come in, only passengers are allowed past this point. So we completely ignored it all. My husband and I took her and we walked in and we got stopped at the door and they said, have you got a mask? And I said, we're exempt. And they said, okay, fine. And then we went. Didn't ask if we were passengers or not. And then when we went to check in, again, more signs anywhere, passengers only past this point and everything. And so my daughter was like, yeah, I'll go on my own. And I think one of the members of staff saw that I was looking a little bit anxious because, there's all the extra paperwork you've got to show and everything. And so she said, you can go with her as well. So it was really interesting that even though on the external, all these signs everywhere, which were quite intimidating, really, saying must wear masks, no one else is allowed past this point. Actually, it wasn't true. And the staff were really, really friendly and really, really helpful. And so sometimes it's just always worth questioning it and just asking and making sure, is this a self-imposed boundary or is it a real boundary? So I can't fault the staff at Heathrow yesterday. They were all absolutely lovely. They were really considerate. We didn't get any hassle at all. Everyone was very friendly. It was surprisingly busy, actually, and I think the flight was very busy as well. Not quite sure how, because I'd love to be able to go out to America to see her, but they're not letting normal people in like this. So I think unless you're a business person that has got a verifiable business excuse. So if anyone wants to invite me out there on business, feel free, because that would be nice. So that was my experience from Heathrow. And I did need to take some time out last week because, the balance is always quite a tricky one for us, isn't it? In terms of how much we listen and engage with the external and how much we listen and engage internal. And I think that's an up and down roller coaster for all of us, I think. And what I would really encourage you, what I've learned really over the last week, is really be aware of how you are feeling in this moment in time, because we're all going to have different triggers that appear for us in different takes. Well, we've got some people from Florida here as well, Virginia, Australia, another Australia, and lots of lovely people from France, the UK. Oh, I want to hear what's happening from you guys in France. Maggie, let us know what's happening in France. Dubai, oh, Abu Dhabi. Wow. So, wow, thank you so much for joining, everyone. So I think personally, most of the people I've spoken to over the last few weeks, me personally, members of the family, etc., we're all going to experience highs and lows at different times, because we're all going through our own unique journeys. Some of it's shared and some of it is different. Normally, I'm in my own little haven. I spend more time surrounded by animals than anything else. I live in a beautiful area of the country, so I'm now out in nature the whole time. Luckily, because I'm looking after my animals all the time, and my work a lot of the time is with animals, it's normally quite easy for me to keep out of the drama, because anyone who is lucky enough to be surrounded by nature and animals like I am know that it's such a grounding experience. And in fact, I'm already starting my book on messages from the animals, because I've learned so much from them over the years. So I'm hoping that's going to be available in the not too distant future. More joining us from Australia. Hi, guys. So that's really good. But when I have to step out and I have to deal with things like my mother had lots of issues with electrics, trees coming down, taking power levels down, telephone cables down, etc. Last week, I had to I had to, have the experience of taking my daughter, etc. Had quite a few other things that happened with friends that I won't go into here. So when you step out of that, you get the other energies, and it's amazing how it can hit you, a bit like the heat wave we're now having in the UK. You can get this front that can hit you and can sort of knock you off balance for a while. And so what I find really works for me is to just notice when that happens to you and take action straight away. We've all got different things that work for us. So is it calling our favourite friend up? Is it making ourselves a really healthy green drink? Is it going and hugging your cat, your dog, your horse, your guinea pig, your hamster? Is it going and sitting under your favourite tree and have a conversation with your tree? Is it going and having a coffee with your best friend? Whatever works for you, because when you find that overwhelm starts to hit, it's so important to take action for yourself, for what works with you straight away. So I think that's really, really important for everyone, because, there's a lot of fear about at the moment, and quite understandably so. I can see why it hits us all. However, we need to take back control of our own emotions, our own thoughts, our own feelings, because all of our energy is transmitting at all times. All of us connecting, even over Zoom, even as soon as we look at each other's names on the chat, it's a connection. We're connecting energetically, and that's putting different things out into the atmosphere. So when we become aware of that and we think, right, my vibration's sipping, do I need to do a bit more self-care? One of my friends were really supportive this week. They let me cancel some arrangements because I needed to take a little bit more care of myself and spend a bit more time on my own and also with my family. So that was so appreciated. To have friends like that really understand that and get and support that is so, so important. Thank you for all of you that's done that. So for yourselves, listen to what's important for you and not being afraid to ask for that space, ask for that time, look after yourself. Because if you're not looking after yourself, it's really important for us to contribute towards others. I know we all know this, but sometimes it's a really, really important thing to remind us of. I know some of you are saying conference questioning science. What are the conferences you've been to? That would be really interesting to hear. And Abby saying going out barefoot, laying on your trampoline. I love my trampoline. My children have grown out of it. I haven't grown out of the trampoline. And one of my favourite things to do at night when my old horse is having his late night feed is actually to jump barefoot on my trampoline and pretend I'm 10 again. I absolutely love it. It's great, particularly when it's getting dark. So yeah, self-care, really, really important at the moment. We are, a lot of us, having very rocky times at the moment. A lot of the time, these things have to happen to challenge us for consciousness to make quantum shifts. At an individual level, a lot of humans don't make changes in their life until something catastrophic happens. That's just the way a lot of us humans are. And on a consciousness level, unfortunately, sometimes a lot of things do have to happen for the consciousness to make a quantum shift. And I certainly feel that's what's happening at the moment. And it doesn't make it any easier for us. But when we understand that there's light at the end of the tunnel, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, then that can make it a lot easier to go through the process. Yes, Andrea, I have been having so much celery juice. I'm going to post some pictures later of all the celery I've been drinking and growing. My celery is doing really well in the garden now. So fantastic. Fantastic to feed yourself with those superfoods. Really, really important. So yeah, self-care. The other thing I'd like to do is say a really big thank you to the people that have donated to PayPal and things. It's so much appreciated. It really allows me to really give the animals in my care the best possible care, and it's also really helped me keep going with all the work that I do, the volunteer work with Game Rangers International at the Elephant Orphanage in Zambia. The people who work out in Zambia, the locals who work there at this Elephant Orphanage, I cannot tell you how connected and grounded they are. They are so phenomenal in terms of living in the moment and living in gratitude, and the energy that they project is just absolutely beautiful. So it's such an honor to be working with them and to know that these wonderful people are doing so much for the orphaned elephants, because wherever we are in the world, unfortunately, there's always someone that's worse off than us. And at the moment, in a lot of the areas where there's poaching in Africa, has gone up so much since the lockdowns, because the tourist industry has been shut down. Unfortunately, people are looking at the poaching again to make money, and it's absolutely heart-wrenching. So yeah, so it is really important to realize that this wonderful work is going on all over the world, and to really celebrate and appreciate and send a lot of love to the people that are doing this work. So thank you, thank you, thank you for really supporting that. The donations all go to my animal work, and I can't tell you how grateful I am. So thank you. There's a lot of people have asked me, there's always a PayPal link below videos. It's not on the live because I have to put the links on after I've done the live. But anyway, if anyone's called to do that, that's great. So some of the other things, I've seen a lot of people are saying they've put air conditioning out for your cats, Cassie. That's absolutely amazing. In terms of, yes, Andrea, I will put the PayPal link up afterwards, because I can't really do it whilst I'm live. I could do if I was a little bit more computer literate, but I'll have to sort that out for next time. So I promise I will put it under here, and it's under all my other videos. So looking after your animals, those of you who have got excessive heat at the moment, is really important. Just before I went in there, I went and put 2 frozen water bottles in for my guinea pigs to keep them nice and cool. The dogs have got a fan, the horses have got their shelters. So that's really, really important to really think of our animals' needs, whether it's extreme of temperatures, because we confine them in human-made environments. So it's important for them that we can really look after their needs and give them the choices. So in terms of other things I wanted to tell you, let me see my notes. So trusting yourself is really, really important at this time. It can be hard sometimes to trust yourself. I don't know. I find it quite hard to trust myself, particularly when you've got other people that, you know, even the ones that you love and respect, that are coming from a very different wavelength. But I think that it's really, really important to trust ourselves and to really just stay true to ourselves, because it's all very well talking the talk, but now is the time, folks, when we've really got to walk the walk. There's no point having strong beliefs if you don't act on those beliefs. I'm sorry, there just isn't. There's too many talkers in this world and not enough people acting on it. And it's what we actually do, not what we say, that resonates into the world. So anyone that's a parent of 2-legged or 4-legged, you will know that children do what you do, not what you say. So children watch how you behave and they model that. They don't listen to what you say if what you say is incongruent with how you're acting. Our animals do the same. You can't be in a really bad mood and then saying nice things to your dog and not have them scared of you or your horse or anything. So our energy is not just based on what we say we're going to do. It's based on what we actually do, how we're actually conducting ourselves and showing up in this world. So yeah, absolutely, Red Cruise, know thyself. And, you know, it's really, really important. And we don't need to be held, we just don't need to beat ourselves up because we will make mistakes. But asking honest advice from people that you really know have got your best interest. So I've got some really, really good friends that can give me really honest feedback. And I know it comes from a place of love, and I know it comes from a place of my best interest and their best interest. Whereas I've got other friends where I don't feel it's honest. I feel it's very one-sided, you know, and, you know, my perception of the relationship is it can be very one-sided and it's coming from purely their side of things. So recognizing and having that discernment is really, really important, because when we open ourselves up to openly and honestly receive in all areas, in terms of honest feedback, advice, help, love, whatever it might be, some of us, particularly those of us, and I expect we've got a lot of empaths here, we can be very good at giving, but not very good at receiving. So, you know, really receiving love, receiving energy, receiving advice from everything around you, but also taking inspired action, because without that inspired action, nothing in the world changes. So, yeah, just, Amsdave, your friend who just drains you terribly. Yeah, it's really important. And I'm afraid this is a bit of time for tough love, because when they're draining you, then probably neither of you are a vibrational match at this time. And there's lots of friends or family members. Family can be more tricky because you might not be able to step away. But sometimes it can be really, really difficult to admit that you just need to have a bit of a break from each other for a while and step away, because you'll go through different things and different emotions and your energies aren't resonating. And that doesn't have to be permanent. It might be, but it might be just a temporary thing that you need to step away. And that's certainly something that I'm going through with friends at the moment, is in terms of it's not a vibrational match at the moment. It's not lifting either of us up. So let's feed them away. Let's turn it away. I will come on. I've seen the comment about the fleas naturally, so I'll come on to that, Abby. Don't worry, I'll come on to that in a minute. So spending time with people that makes you feel good is really good. And also being honest, because if you're not feeling good in someone's company, the chances are they're not feeling good in your company, and that is fine. You know, try not to take these things personally. I was speaking to a really, really good friend, my brilliant friend, Wendy Price, who I will put her link below the video, because if anyone's in need of some fantastic metaphysical coaching, she is the person. She really is fantastic. She does a lot of work with horses and animals in terms of for people that can visit her personally. She does sessions with the horses. It's incredible. But we were talking about the whole issue of political correctness. Now, I can see why the agenda of political correctness has really made people really afraid to be authentic in what they're feeling, because people are scared to say anything these days. And to be honest, people take offense so easily. They take offense so easily, and that makes it really difficult for people to be authentic around each other. So one of my things this week is to actually be your authentic self, so long as you're coming from a place of love and kindness, not being afraid to say what's really on your mind. Because it is really, really important, because without that honest and open communication, none of us can evolve and change. So Red Cruz: had to tell my husband 20 years yesterday, hurt me emotionally because he gets annoyed around my energy now. Told you I love you, not stooping me even for vibe being different. Yeah, absolutely fantastic, Red Cruz. It's really important when we give that honest and open communication, we open the doors up for everything. And if people don't know what we're feeling, then how on earth can they respond to that in an authentic way? So the more authentic we are with ourselves and with others, and sometimes it is a learning place because we all have different communication styles. But again, as long as you know the person's coming from the right place, it should be much easier not to take offense. And when you do take offense, I think you need to also look really closely at yourself and say, is it me? Is it me that's in that vibration that's not open to honest communication? And if so, that's fine. Be open to it. So experiment. You can't find me on Telegram. Well, the links are under every single video I do. So every single video, when you click the down arrow, as I said, when you do a live, I have to go back in and put the links on afterwards, which I will do, but they're on every single video that's on YouTube. So you should be able to find them really easily. So yeah, if you're not, you can always email me, but they are under every single video. So please do take a look. So yeah, I think honest and open communication, we're moving into a time where there's no room for inauthenticity. Don't ask me to spell that because I'm the world's worst speller, but there really isn't. There's no time for people talking about things and not taking inspired action. And there's no time for people to be inauthentic. And if you're not being authentic with yourself, you can't be authentic with others. And it's absolutely fine for trial and error. When we've got people that we love and support, then it's really, really easy to sort of be honest and take feedback and not take offense. So that would be one of my real bits of advice for this week. Absolutely, I will be doing the holistic cat care courses and talks and everything. That will be coming in a few weeks' time, actually, because it's really, really important. So, yeah, hold the line, everyone. Really do hold the line. If you're feeling you need some extra support, ask for it. I've got some brilliant chats coming up this week, some with my favourites and some with some new people. So I have got Jean-Claude from Beyond Mystic. I really love Jean-Claude. He's got an amazing energy behind him. He lives a fantastic lifestyle. He's really, really authentic. We've been mix and matching, schedules for a while. So I think that's meant to be tomorrow, so long as we can get that in the bag. So we'll be finding, and with him, we'll be talking a lot more about getting to know him better and about how he's navigating these times at the moment, because I find it really useful hearing what's actually working for people that are putting this in practice. And then you can take what resonates you and leave what doesn't. I've also, of course, got my normal Wednesdays with Janine, which I absolutely love. She is amazing. And again, Janine is really, really honest and authentic, and she is who she is, and she's proud to be how she is. And that comes through a lot of lifetime of working on yourself. And she has put the work in, and she's reaping the benefits now. So quite honestly, she's a real pleasure to be around. I'm also speaking to another lady who's been on my friend David Cohen's channel. Now, this lady, Kelly from Earth Song, she is a mother of 5. She's in America. She is amazing, again, at walking the talk. So she's fantastic on the spiritual side of things. And she's also brilliant about the practical things people can do about things like taking harmful chemicals out of their house and everything. So I'm going to be having a chat with her. It's tomorrow or Wednesday. I can't remember which. And I really think you're going to really like her because she is so authentic. She's a mother of 5. She homeschools. She's taken chemicals out of her house and environment. She's worked on herself continually, and she's got some fantastic, simple courses, tools, tips, coaching, but incredibly reasonable. And she is a really, really lovely soul. The other thing, who else have I got? Oh, I've got lovely Jonathan Marsh. Now, Jonathan Marsh and I are going to try and do a Facebook where we actually don't get banned this time. So we'll be having a really good one on really good conversations sometime this week when we can fit that in. And then, by very, very popular demand. Now, Andy Mills has been a friend and colleague of mine for at least 10 years. And Andy, I met through when I started using the Purium and Platinum Health products. A lot of you have been asking about superfoods, about cleanses, about bringing your body and mind back into balance. So we're going to run through on Thursday morning a really good session for people in terms of some of our favorite products that are really brilliant for superfoods, for getting your mind and body back in balance. Yeah, my orange hue. I'm sorry about that. I've no idea what the lighting in here is doing. It changes every time. It's because I've had to shut the blinds, but I have been out in the sun getting my vitamin D this weekend. So you are going to love Andy, one of the most genuine person I know. He's the health products that Rachel and I have been using for years, and they're fantastic. And at the moment, when a lot of us are talking about stopping up and preparing, then these are things, when you've got your superfoods in your cupboards, you can have other foods that are in there, and will, make sure you've got some of these superfoods in dry powder form, which are really easy to use in an emergency, that are going to keep your mind and body in tip-top shape. So that's going to be Thursday morning. And then, of course, I will be having another session with my lovely vet friend, Dr. Timo Tastatar. We've nearly ready with the dog nutrition course. It's all been recorded, but Timo's been away on holiday, and then his son wasn't very well, and then he wasn't very well. So we've got lots and lots coming to keep everyone focused on moving forward with their lives. So yes, sometimes we really need to have a good chat and really vent about what our concerns and worries and fears are. That's really important. But I'm also really, really passionate about bringing forward some of the things that really, really have been working for me and my clients in terms of, how are we really going to create the lives that we want moving forward and navigate this interesting time, is the politest way I can say of going through it. So, chronic illnesses and working plan bad issues 10 years, so let me know. Red Cruise, absolutely. I'm always happy for people to share their stories. Personal stories are really important because there's always so much that everyone can identify with. So what's really obvious at the moment is that everyone is going through something different. I listened to a really lovely chat with Galactic Greg this morning. I don't know if you know Galactic Greg. Really, really lovely chat, really honest, open, beautiful chat about what he was going through. And I just found it really lovely to listen to, because so authentic, really helpful tips that he came out with. And when people are sharing their own personal experiences, then I think that really helps. JCK has been doing a lot of videos recently about the healing techniques that people can use to really keep themselves on balance. So whether it's crystals, I've got all my crystals here. I've got my pyramids. I've got my incense stents. I've got my sage stick that everyone sees me wafting everywhere. It's one of my lovely crystals I'm working with at the moment. I use my dowsing. I've got my animals. I walk barefoot in nature. I love my celery juice. I love my superfoods. There's something for everyone and every budget. I absolutely promise you there really is. So find what works for you, and that can change over time, and use it, because these tools are put there by nature. Thank you so much for that super chat, Andrea. That's really, really kind. Thank you. That's just really lovely. So there is something that works for all of you, folks. I absolutely promise you. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Friendship is free, and friendship is one of the most important things that we have in this world. And everyone can get out and breathe fresh air. Everyone can make choices that make them feel good about themselves. Everyone can find an animal to go and talk to, whether it's yours or someone else's. And so these little things are the things that work. So this morning I woke up with a really bad headache. It was definitely stress related. And I started doing the brainstorming for my book that I'm writing. And do you know what? It changed like that. It went like that. One of my friends did a very funny suggestion for what would get rid of headaches, but this might be a family show, so I better not show that on here. I'll tell you next time when we go live late. But yeah, so it is challenging times. It's up and down like a yo-yo. We know that there's a lot coming. I'm going to be sharing a lot more of my healing techniques. I've got essential oils everywhere. I work with essential oils. I think they're fantastic. They're very high vibration. I work with light therapy. I work with animal communication. I work with meditation. I work with herbs, healing herbs. And also one of the best things you can do is drink good quality water. Here I've got a lovely organic lemon in it, and keep yourself well hydrated. And that makes all the difference. So any final questions before I go off? There seems to be some, aggressive out of the blue. If a cat's ever aggressive out of the blue, you've got to rule out pain straight away, because pain is one of the main reasons why cats will go aggressive, or any animal will go aggressive. So check for pain. Cats are really difficult to tell if they're in pain because they hide it so well. So I would try, and if you can get hold of the cat and do a physical examination and have a look, because if they're in pain, then that can cause issues. Diffusing essential oils, Cassie, you can diffuse essential oils around cats so long as they can get away with them. You need to be very cautious, you're right, because cats are missing a key enzyme in their liver, which means that they cannot metabolize a lot of substances like we do. However, cats do work also very, very well with essential oils if you're trained to know how to work with them. So never, ever put an essential oil topically on cat, and never diffuse an oil, and air fresheners are even worse with cats without them being able to get away at any time. So we will be doing a whole series on pet health. And yes, do you know, Andy McIntosh, absolutely perfect. I have to mention this before I go. We've vaccinated pets for so long, not surprised they're angry with us. I completely agree with this. I have been saying right from the start, and had a lot of stick from it, that karmically as humans, we have been doing, often through misplaced love, a lot of things to our animals in our care that are actually not loving from their perspective at all. We've been pumping them full of chemicals. We've been vaccinating them. We've been microchipping them. We've been worming them. We've been flea treatments. We've been pumping all these chemicals in and on them. We've been feeding them rubbish. We've been keeping them in areas where that's not considerate of what their needs are, because often a human's needs and an animal needs are very, very different. So I completely agree. Vaccines and animals are generally horrific. We completely over-vaccinate them, and people do it often from a place of love, not knowing. So there's so many lessons when we look at what we're all going through now and being looked at vaccine passports. Well, pets have to have had a vaccine passport for ages. When you look at the amount of chemicals that we've pumped into our pets without their permission, when we look at what a lot of people feed their pets, and I'm not just talking about pets, I'm talking about horses, guinea pigs, what you're doing to the wildlife, you know, anyone that's spraying any chemicals on their garden, just stop it now, because it's absolutely devastating to the whole ecosystem. So I think, you know, but what we've got to do is not be harsh, because when I was 20, I fed my cats tin food and I didn't know any better. And now I know better, I do better. So what I constantly do is I'm constantly on a journey of discovery. And as I learn things, I share those, because we shouldn't all have to learn the lessons from scratch. We've all got brilliant advice to give each other. And if you learn something that works and improves your life or life of an animal's or a plant's or the universe, please share it, because we all need to know. None of us have got time to actually reinvent the wheels. So a lot of what I share is stuff that I've learned from other brilliant people. I'm always happy. As I said, I've listened to some of JC's stuff over the last week. She's got some fantastic advice. Galactic Greg, I loved his advice. There's so many good people out there. I'm not, you know, there's loads of people that I'm leaving out. But yeah, in terms of what we should be feeding your cats, really good quality, raw, balanced food. I'm going to be doing a whole session on that in about 4 to 6 weeks' time. So thank you so much for joining me, everyone. It's such a joy for you to join me. As soon as this goes live, then I will put all my links below. I'll put my Telegram channel, I'll put my BitChute channel. Oh, I forgot to say, sorry, I had a really, really lovely, one of my favourite times so far, chats with Mel K on Friday. I can't put any Mel K stuff on my YouTube. I get banned straight away if I do. They've really got it in for her. This was gold dust. Honestly, it's so important. It's on my BitChute channel. Will put the link below. It's also on my website, but probably, you know, either of those. I'd really appreciate you having a look at that. Mel K is one of the most genuine, most informed people I know. And this was a really, really good chat. We covered a lot of stuff that I think is really, really important for everyone to know. So I will put that on my the link to the chat on my BitChute channel below. And please do let me know what's on there. She gets so much stick. The amount of jealousy that poor woman has to put up with is absolutely appalling. I leave my chats open on BitChute, but I have to go in there and moderate them because the disgusting abuse that Mel gets is just completely beyond me. But that's because she's really hitting a nail and she's completely on chat. So yeah, thank you for everyone who actually goes on that. Yeah, dish soap is a really dangerous actually for a lot of animals. So we will do a lot more animals. No, my links aren't below yet because it says alive and I can't put it on the live. As soon as this goes up, folks, the links I will then go in and add the links below this video, but they're below all my other videos on YouTube. So below the video, just between the video and the chat, there's a little down arrow. And if you click on that, it gives you more information and it gives you all the links you need to know. So lovely, lovely chats coming up this week. Please feel free to give me suggestions for other people that you'd like to see me have a chat with. And thank you so much. Completely. You're at the Freedom March joinery admin. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much for joining. Well done, everyone who's there today. So yeah, keep up the good work. Love your animals. Every bit we learn, we can do better for them. We're all on a continual journey of discovery. Stay close to your friends. Support your friends at this time. We all need each other. And lots of love, and speak to you soon. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Bye.